Alright guys, welcome back to Ranking Bleach Abilities. This time we're doing the hollows. Now, I had to think a lot about what the guidelines were, or else I'd be ranking a lot of people. Thankfully, the guidelines I came up with made it so I don't have to do that many people. The guidelines I came up with this time are it needs to be an active ability. An example I use is Shrieker, who he can fly, yeah, but that's a passive ability. He doesn't need to activate anything in order to fly. Unlike other people who can fly, they need to activate it though. So, yeah, when it comes to Shrieker, I will not be counting the fact that he can fly as that's an innate ability to his body. An active ability, they need to activate their Zanpakuto. If you don't understand what I'm saying right now, you'll see what I mean as we get through this. Make sure to watch the other two videos before this if you want more explanations to the rankings, or if you see somebody in a specific area that you don't agree with, watch that other video to see the explanation. And if you still don't agree with it, comment on that video as to why, because this time we're doing the hollows, not the fullbringers or the Shinigami. Alright, to start off, we have Yami with his ability of Ira, and it's basically just the Hulk where anger makes you stronger. Now, when I was younger with anger issues, this was definitely the ability to have, but I'm more zen now. Well, at the same time, Yami can store up power through sleeping and eating as well. So there's that. There's also the fact, though, that he becomes much bigger, not just stronger. He becomes much bigger and slower, so you become a big walking target. Yeah, the strength part will put you in assassin, but that size, it's pretty detrimental. I don't know if I'd put that in assassin. I don't know. This one is something I might have to think about more because of this unnecessary size, but for now it's going on Walking Calamity. Next up is Stark, and with Stark, oh, I forgot to mention for the guidelines, crap. No techniques, only abilities. So Stark's Cero Metralleta, that's not what I'm counting, that's a technique. His ability is Los Lobos, where he divides part of his souls into basically nuke wolves. And yeah, that's obviously going here. What other instance would you use exploding wolves for? Up next is Baradon, and Baradon's ability of Respira and Senescencia. When he activates his Resurrección, it doesn't turn off his Senescencia. Even the thing he's walking on decays, so I'm gonna have to give myself an extra ability of at least being able to hover so that I don't constantly end up in a giant divot everywhere I go. That's obviously doing an assassin watching calamity. Where else am I gonna put this? Like, where else would aging things help me out? Well, actually, it could help me get rid of garbage. Maybe I have to solve the polluting crisis if I just go to landfills and age it into dust. I just convinced myself. Go to landfills and then age it to dust. And you could probably get more fuel out of that. I could become an oil baron with Baradon's ability. Wow, I was actually expecting it to just stay an assassin. The way I convince myself sometimes. Up next is Harabelle with her ability of water manipulation, and that's just Kayan's ability, so it's gonna go in the same area as Kayan. Next up is Yutiura, and Yutiura doesn't exactly have any special abilities besides his wings. Now, because he doesn't have it in his standard form, it's an active ability, so his ability is pretty much flight. Anything else is a technique like Lanza del Lampado. So, flying, I mean, same place as the woman's manta ray. Up next is Noitra, and Noitura's ability is the fact that he can summon multiple limbs, and he can even summon weapons out of those limbs, so that immediately boosts it up to Assassin Watching Calamity. But multiple limbs, it's good. I could summon multiple limbs to help me out anywhere. I could be playing like Persona 5 X while editing this video. That game is awful, by the way. Golly. Getting through it, I heard it that's good. And I mean, depending on how many weapons I could shoot out of my arm, I can also just sell weapons. Come on, weapons manufacturer. Up next is Grimjow, and his special ability is something de la Pantera. I think it was Caron de la Pantera, where he shoots green bombs out of his elbows. And what else am I gonna do with bombs besides blow things up? It's kind of weird that it comes out of his elbows too. I don't know why I'm speedrunning this. At least it feels like it. But up next is Zomari, and Zomari's ability of Brujeria. Well, Brujeria is the name of his release or Zanpakuto, so that isn't exactly it. His ability is more of Amor, where he controls people of anything he puts the sun mark on. That's a forced assassin watching calamity. I can also do the opposite. I could just stop wars by manipulating them. I can also have a mindless army. So he has another ability where he turns into a giant sphere, but that's assassin watching calamity because I could just start doing criminal activity and then just go into that giant sphere and just roll around. But Amor, I'm trying to think of a way where I don't do anything nefarious with it. But just the fact that I manipulate people with it is already nefarious. Maybe I can create a small town by manipulating construction workers. How about that? I don't know, guys. I mean, that sounds pretty good to me. I just go to the middle of nowhere with a whole army and construct a tiny village. Well, no, that's gonna feel creepy. Then I'm just gonna be a cult leader. But hey, Zomari already gives cult leader vibes. I'm surprised he didn't already do that in the series. Hmm. Yeah, I'm gonna put it too situational. I could become a cult leader with that. Not exactly a cult leader because at that point they're just mindless. So it's not even a cult. It's just a mindless army at that point. Up next is the eighth Espada, Grans. Thankfully, his brother isn't here because he didn't meet my guidelines, so I just have to say the last name of Grants. I don't have to say his whole name. To this day, I have a hard time pronouncing it. But his ability, I can create voodoo dolls and hurt people with the voodoo dolls. That's Assassin Watching Calamity. At the same time, I forgot the name of it. What was the name of it? Ain't no way I forgot. The thing he did with Nemu, where if he touches someone, he puts a part of themselves in them, and he can be resurrected, be born anew through them. Well, that makes me nigh on immortal in the real world. I could just touch someone I really don't like, as in they're a menace to society and I don't think they should live anymore, and just use their body to host a new one. It's an active type of immortality so that I can stop at any time if I reach that point of wanting to. Because being immortal for millions of years, that would get old fast. But being immortal and I can stop when I'm being immortal, that's pretty good. It's pretty good. So I'm putting on it's good because, well, I just explained why, but it wouldn't be too situational because the Earth has 8 billions of people. I know for a fact at least 100 million of them are evil people, so I could just use their body. Next is Arenero with his ability. What was his ability name? I think it was Doleteneria. I think it was Doleteneria, where anything I eat, I gain the ability and power of. Now, this was specifically exclusive to Hollows in the series. I'm putting this for any animal, or else I'd have to do cannibalism. And throughout the years of all the animals I've eaten, I gained their strength and their ability if it benefits the human body that I am. Why did I sound like an alien when I said that? But that's good. I mean, I'd be incredibly powerful at that point. And I mean, call me crazy. You're allowed to eat bear, so I might start eating bear at that point to boost my strength even more. And then I could become a power lifter and gain money through there. I always find a way to lead it back to powerlifting or just athletics, but I have to show off my strength somehow. Right. So yeah, because of that, I'll put it at it's good. Up next is Abirama. Now Abirama, he has wings, which is already good. His other abilities of shooting the wings, like the wings are incredibly hard as concrete. So his wings are assassin watching calamity. But it's obviously gonna be above that because they're wings. I can fly with them, just like Yukiura. Up next is Charlotte with his ability of Rosa Blanca. Now, Rosa Blanca is really completely useless because it entraps me in a target. Now, I don't know if I can just entrap multiple people or I had to actively be in it myself because those two definitely change the ranking if I had to be in it or if I don't have to be in it. Because if I don't have to be in it, I can just jail people. I'm talking about humanitarian jail. No, jail isn't really humanitarian. But I mean, if I become a police officer, I could just put a Rosa Blanca on them instead of having to chase them with handcuffs. That'd be pretty good. But if I have to be in it, it's pretty bad. So, I mean, that's either dog water, really, or too situational. Well, the second option, if I don't have to be in it, I'm pretty sure that's not explicitly stated anywhere. So I'm just going to assume I don't have to be in it. Oh, sorry about that, guys, but thankfully I noticed fast. The screen recording just went out for a minute. But yeah, Charlotte, I'm gonna have to put it on too situational. I have to do citizen's arrest with it. Right, that's what I was saying. With Rosa Blanca, I could do citizen's arrest. Up next is Findor. Now, Findor also has a water ability, but it's too specific. It isn't like Kyan's or Harabelle's where it's just water manipulation. I shoot highly pressured water at you, like I'm cleaning up the front of someone's lawn. Yeah, that's assassin water calamity. Hey, if I shoot anyone with high pressure water, they're gonna lose limbs. And besides that, oh no wait, two situations. I literally just described what I could do with it. I can clean lawns, and I could have paid for that. And I don't have to pay money for the material because I have the ability. So I make more money than the average person who cleans those concrete lawns. Winning. Up next is Nell, and with her, I was thinking the Cero Doble, but that counts as a technique. And the Cero Doble would be as useless as Uchitake's Shikai anyway. So I was thinking her saliva. Her saliva has weak healing properties, but do it enough, or if I vomit, I can heal larger wounds. Like if I ever did a cut on my arm, I can just lick the cut and it'll be fine. If someone's really injured though, like a broken leg, I just have to force myself to vomit. That's pretty bad. But other than that, that's pretty good. Alright, up next is Edrad, and Edrad just has fire manipulation from his hands, so that goes up with the other fire manipulators, the good ones, not the ones like Amagi or Love. Next up is, I forgot how to pronounce her name, Siriuchi. Just stick to that if you don't like it. I don't know, deal with it, I forgot. I just won't say it that much. Her resurrection of high frequency blades, Assassin Walking Calamity, but it gives her the ability to fly, so it's good. I can just shed the blades, and I have more energy if I shed the blades too. Well, no, the blades are used for flying, so I'd have to use the blades for flight. And it's still good. I just look, I just look like I'm planning on doing crimes. But next up is Dordoni with his wind manipulation. The way he uses his wind manipulation is pretty much like Santa's ability of causing tornadoes. So same place as Senna. Up next is Lupi, because Lupi is similar with Noitera in that he activates his Resurrección and that's tentacles out of it. It's even better than Noitera's because it has more range and more limbs. So yeah, I'm gonna have to put it in front of Noitera as well just to spite him. But the orderings in the ranking specifically don't really matter. But I'm doing it here on purpose, piss Noitera off. Next up is Rudeborn and his ability of making an army and his army just becomes his entourage if he isn't fighting, which is pretty funny. But yeah, there's no other reason to. Well, no, they aren't exactly meant for just fighting. You can use them for other things as well. I can start my own company with an army of mindless me's. That's actually pretty good. I'd have to think more. I'd have to expand my brain because Woodborne only uses it to fight, but they're not exactly made to just fight. I can use them for other things. They follow my every whim. I can have an army of me's, mindless me's, so they'll never revolt. Up next is, well, that mindless hollow that attacks Chad, and his tongue, I forgot, it was lengua something, but he has a piercing tongue, and that's just dog water. The range is pretty limited, and I don't ever want to attack people with my tongue. Who do I look like, Tao Pai Pai? And up next is, oh yeah, that cloning Arrancar from the filler. Well, it's in the name, he clones himself. That's as good as Rudborn's ability. Actually, is it better? I don't think it's better, but it's almost just as good as Rudborn's ability. So up next is Lolly, and her ability is poison for anything she touches. She has to activate it too, so it's not a double-edged sword of I have to constantly watch what I'm touching like I'm Midas. But because it's poison, really awful poison, awful as in it actually works, it's good poison, because it disintegrates even objects. I'm putting it on Watching Calamity. Up next is another filler around her, Patros, or was it Pathos? I forgot. Either way, he shoots energy beams. I mean, that's a Cero. Energy shots out of his sword, from what I remember. And his Resurrección makes it so he shoots those shots out of his arms. So I'm just gonna take the Resurrección ability of shooting shots out of his arm. But either way, that's just Walking Calamity. Next is Wonderwise, and he has a specific ability of sealing Yamamoto's flames. But in this real life scenario, I'm just gonna imagining extinguishing flames. And I'm honestly, I would say too situational, but the more I think about it, the more she'll be on it's good. I didn't just get sent to every wildfire happening and put a stop to it. I could be the best firefighter ever. I probably won't even need any training because the moment I get there, I just put the fire out by sealing it. Pretty good. And well, with Wonder Wise's ability specifically, he seals it inside his body. So of course, if I seal it inside my own body and then have the second ability of withstanding that fire, but I'm gonna have to release it somewhere. I'll probably just go to a beach and release it on the shore there. Uh, Up next is Yang, and Yang also has a fire ability. Well, I'm saying it as if people might know this. I have to be more specific. Yang, and then later Yang, they're from the Diamond Dust movie. People might have not watched those. But yeah, Yang has a fire ability, and there. I was expecting. No, wait, Yang. Sorry, Yang has the fire ability. Yang has the electric ability. I was honestly expecting Yang to have a water ability. I mean, they're opposites, and she's blue, but it's whatever. Now, an electric ability, I put that in too situational because I was thinking I'm only gonna use an electric ability to hurt people, but at the same time, I can just use it to power up my apartment. I never have to pay for the electric bill again. Now, up next is a demi hollow that Ichido and the Dawn, fought together. Well, it's really Ichido, but he has an adhesive power, and it was only shown that the adhesive power stopped working when he was killed. But I'm just gonna have to assume because it's a demi hollow, it's not a full hollow yet. I'm gonna have to assume that it would have theoretically had the ability to turn off or like get rid of the glue whenever it wanted. Either way, it's gonna disappear when I'm done. So it'd be funny if I just build houses and all those houses would start crumbling the moment I die. That'd be pretty funny. Like it shows up on the news, nationwide house collapse. So I might use it to build houses just for the memes. I'm not gonna even be able to witness it, but it'd just be funny that the moment I die, I think, oh yeah, all those houses are about to fall. Putting it on it's too situational. It's really strong adhesive, so I might just put it on it. It's good. But at the same time, but then it disappears if I die, so it's not that good. Now up next is Fishbone D, and this is the die that was bothering me about why I made the dimes be an active ability. Because Fishbone D technically has an active ability, and it's his weird extendable net. I really didn't want to count this, but he fits the die lines. Now his extendable net, what is that gonna get me, man? It's worse than the limbs because an extendable net, we don't even know the range of the extendable net. But if I'm gonna grab anything, I don't want it to be with my mouth. So the extendable net part, that that's dog water. At least it's not as bad as the ton die. Up next is Nerds, and he has an extendable trunk, again, as bad as the extendable neck and tongue. That goes there. Up next is Grand Fisher, and his ability, well, he technically has two bodies now. Well, I would technically have two bodies now because he comments on how his hollow body and his lore body are his own bodies, and he could switch his soul in whichever place. Not only that, but he has those memory claws. He stabs you with the claws. He can search through your memory to turn the lore into whatever it wants. I would never use it for that purpose exactly, but it'd be nice to have two bodies. And the memory thing, well, if I'm really paranoid, I can see if you're lying or not. Or I could become a police officer or a help to the police officers, putting that on. I would say too situational, but the having two bodies thing. And I mean, if I stab enough people with my claws, I can turn the second body into whatever I want. Like, what if I stab someone who watched a video of Dwayne The Rock Johnson? My second body can now turn into Dwayne The Rock Johnson. The two bodies thing is really good. Like, the memory clause brings it to us too situational. With the two bodies, and I could turn the second body into whatever. Yeah, it's good. Now up next is Hulier. It's Huler. I think it's Huler. And then this one was the hollow that came with Aizen and spit out all those dillions. So that is its ability, spitting out a bunch of dillions. So I could just spit out a whole army of people. That's an assassin, Walking Calamity. I mean, I could just stand in the die lines while I'm puking out a million people to go to war with. Now up next is the strongest hollow of them all, Itomiki the Moi. I had to really think about what exactly counts as an ability, or if he would even be here on this list. But I forgot that he screams, and with that scream, he summons an army of Ajukas. It's basically Huler's ability, but better. That those are there, obviously. Up next is Metastasia. Metastasia, oh my goodness. Metastasia. If you know, you know, guys. Now, Metastasia's ability is actually worse than. Actually, is it worse or better than Grant's? Because Grant's ability, he becomes stronger after coming out of your body. But Metastasia, he fuses with the body he touches. So is it better or worse? It's about the same thing. But this ability is just like Grant's, where it gives me optional immortality to where I can just stop if I do reach that point in my life where I want to pass on. So it's not in the same place as Grant's. I realize I'm saying so a lot. Up next is Shrieker. As I brought him up before, he can fly, but that's a passive ability, so I'm not counting that. But his ability of summoning the targets, those little goblins, and they can turn into bombs too. If they can just explode. That assassin walking calamity. But the thing about them is, I'm pretty sure they share a hive mind with me because they're a part of me. So I can use them as reconnaissance as well, little reconnaissance drones. I'm putting it on two situational because I can just send them out and spy on people. I could be a special Black Ops member, you know, with it. Or if I'm too lazy for my main body to go somewhere, I can just send out a target and they'll become a live stream for me. Up next is White, and his ability is similar to Grant's in Metastasia, but when it infects someone, when I infect someone, I have the habit of exploding now. That's not good because then that just means that the person I inhabit might die from the explosion as well. So it might be too risky to infect people because I'll just self-destruct my own body. Unless I infect you and then I start running away in the last few seconds I'm in my body. Either way, that's too situational. The fact that I have to actively think, oh, I'm gonna infect this person, and then I have to run away now to blow up. Eh, putting that no, not too situational. It's kind of dog water just from the explosion aspect alone. Because from what we've seen, it's a giant explosion. The only reason Masaki and Ishin survived is because if you guys don't know, Ishin did use a keto on the explosion White Claws. That's why the explosion looks like it just stops halfway through. So that explosion could have killed both of them if it wasn't for that keto. Yeah, that explosion is too risky. I'm sorry, White. The infecting ability is pretty good because it then gives me optional immortality, but the explosion is too much. The explosion is way too much. The next hollow is I forgot to say his name too. I'll just say it once. I'll try, but I forgot. So be easy on me. Runu Dandra, and it's the Sand Eye. The only reason he died in the series was because of Rukia's ice ability. So I just had to avoid nitrogen, and I'm pretty good. But because I'm Sandman, pretty much, my body's made out of sand. I can have multiple bodies because my consciousness is what matters. I can just rule the beaches. I don't live near a beach, but I live en route to a beach, so I could just live there if I really want to, or if I want to have multiple bodies. In a way, as long as sand is nearby, I'm pretty much immortal. So I'm putting this dude on It's Good. And yeah, wow, this video was faster than I thought it would be. Do you guys agree with it or not? Say so in the comments below. Or if I'm missing any hollows that you disagree do meet the guidelines, say so, and they might be in the next video. Yeah. Hey guys, editing Lottie here again with some brand new opinions after thinking about this for a while. First off, to correct my mistake, White should definitely be higher. He should be put in It's Good along with the other guys like Brands and Metastasia. The reason for that being that White's self-destruct feature doesn't have anything to do with his soul swapping abilities. He only self-destructed because he was severely wounded. So in an ideal scenario, if he were to soul swap into somebody's body, his original body would probably fall apart like Metastasia. The next person would probably Arenero because I thought about it more, and with Arenero's ability, I can just become like Ultimate Cars from JoJo. If I eat an animal, I gain its abilities. I start off with the simple animals, such as, I don't know, a chicken or something, but later on, I just start eating exotic birds and gain flights, or I eat something like a shark. Well, shark is an exotic animal, probably expensive, but I can still eat it. So I could just get a shark, eat a shark, become a shark, and then eat the Greenland shark. The Greenland shark has the life expectancy of like 400 years. And then with that shark, I can probably try to eat the immortal jellyfish and become immortal without having to sacrifice people's bodies like Grants, Metastasias, or White. I also have high regenerative abilities too if I eat the right animals. Yeah, if I just eat almost every animal on Earth with Aranyero's ability, I will be Ultimate Cars. And yeah, so I'm actually putting that an absolute yes. And who else? Oh yeah, the Demi Hollow. The reason I put him in two situations was because if I die, the adhesive will leave, but it doesn't really matter if the adhesive just vanishes if I die because it's supposed to benefit me. I'm probably gonna only be thinking about myself and using the adhesive. I'm not gonna use it on a global scale. Besides that joke of making all those houses collapse. So I'm actually gonna put it on It's Good as well. Oh yeah, Shrieker. I put him in two situational, but I did describe in my reasoning that I could use him to live stream concerts. And honestly, that has so many applications because it's not just concerts. Again, I could just do reconnaissance with my targets for anything. So that's actually pretty good. Up next is Rudborn with my new opinion. With Rudborn, I have a mindless army. It's not an army that might fight back like twice from My Hero Academia. Well, it's less like clones. It is just more of a mindless army. With a mindless army, I'm actually gonna put that on absolute yes. It's pretty good. I do have strict guidelines to reach an absolute yes. They have to have multiple applications or be really beneficial to me. And so far that fits the bill. Up next, I completely forgot about this hollow numb chandelier. They're from the first arc. I assumed they didn't have any other abilities because I thought they were like Bulbous G, that Chad fought. I forgot that numb chandelier can manipulate people like Zamari. And then becomes a question of which one is better, because with Numb Chandelier's ability, I had to inject something in the body. But with Zamari, I can just control you with my eyes. But in the real life scenario, I won't have as many eyes, so I can only control two people. Oh yeah, well, I just explained to myself that Numb Chandelier's ability is actually better. Too situational for that. Up next, that I forgot, is the Privarone Espada Pitaro. Now, Pitaro has multiple bodies, yet is one being, because if we remember, hollows in the Menos Grande cycle, Dylan's Adjutas Vassal are made up of multiple hollows, and Pitaro is an Adjuta class. So, Pitaro is the what if every hollow that was eaten had their own separate body, yet shared one hive mind. Now, Pitaro's ability is that hive mind. In real life, how would that apply? Because there wouldn't be multiple me's. The way I decided to apply this ability was my family would have a hive mind, an optional hive mind. But it's not only that, because with Pitaro's ability of the hive mind, because they're all one being, if one person that's really hurt, they can just transmit their spiritual energy through sound waves to that hurt body so that they can heal. With that, in a way, my family would be close to immortal because we could just heal each other if one of us gets hurt. With his resurrection of Langosta Midriatora, he does get wings, so now everyone in my family can fly. You could do, I don't even know how to describe it, but basically Razor Leaf from Pokemon just cuts everything. I can also summon a black hole with the resurrection, which is overpowered, and why would I ever want to do that? But where would I put Pikachu with all of that? In a way, regeneration, that's pretty good. I can fly as well. The black hole thing, that's only for Assassin Martin Calamity. I will put that on it's good, just for the flight aspect alone. Up next is Rota, or Rota. I think it's Rota, because I think the name is Japanese, not Spanish. Probably. But Rota's ability is that she has spider legs, and with those legs, she can make threads. These threads copy moves that the thread touches. Overpowered. Doesn't really apply in real life, but overpowered in the series. But she can also put basically a backup drive into whatever to have a second life. She does this in Wiccamundo with the rose quartz trees because there's absolutely nothing else in Wiccamundo. But in the real life scenario, where there are objects everywhere, I can put my hard drive into garbage, and if I die, my hard drive activates and I should come back to life out of garbage. So it's optional immortality without having to sacrifice people. Again, that's amazing. So Rota, you got an absolute yes. It's too bad you didn't have that ability when Yami killed you, but still overpowered. And yeah, now this is the final list. And if anyone disagrees with it, say it in the comments below. Up next in the series is the finale, the Quincy's. I hope there isn't an editing Lottie in that one, because there shouldn't be as many Quincy's. And ever since I started the series, I've had strong opinions about that one, but I wanted to do it in order before we get to the Quincy's. But yeah, have a nice day, and hope all goes well for you.